Good morning, folks. Welcome back to your Lake Fork Guide. If you look behind me, it's got a little fog on it. There needs to be a little mystery, but there ain't much mystery about what's going down right now. It's pre-spawn, it's Lake Fork, it's giant bass, it's jigs, and it's creek channel bends. If y'all want to see some big bass get caught, come with me today. We're gonna head out here to Lake Fork in a pre-spawn and throw a jig, one of the best patterns of all time for catching trophy bass. This one might be pretty good. You might want to stay tuned.
Yeah, I got the four nice ones right here.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh my Lord. Fat. Got there?
I think.
Oh my lantern.
Yeah, that's probably a 7. As we get into today's video, guys, before we do, I wanted to discuss a couple of the finer points and the adjustments and the things that we're keying in on to capitalize and catch these fish, so that hopefully you'll be able to duplicate these things on your body of water or on your trip to Lake Fork and be able to get similar results catching these really big bass. So we're going to start with a 3/4 ounce hybrid jig. We're going to show you guys the adjustments we're making to the bait itself. That's a black and blue 3/4 ounce hybrid jig from 6 Cents Fishing. Brand new in the package. This is how you're going to get it when you buy it. We're going to take it out. It's got this little rubber band on the skirt. Of course, we're going to remove that. I'm going to trim the skirt this time of year very, very short. So I'm actually going to go right to the bend of the hook where I trim my skirt. So if you'll look, I just pinch it right at the bend of the skirt, and then I take scissors and right below the bend of that skirt, we cut it just like that. You can see how short that skirt is. Very small profile, very compact. Sometimes I will trim a weed guard. On this particular jig, if you'll look, I want this weed guard to come to this barb. It goes just past it, but man, it is so close that I actually don't mess with that weed guard at all. The trailer that we've been using is the Nirvana colored stroker crawl from 6 Cents Fishing. Get one of those out and show you the adjustment that we make to it as well. We make a little adjustment to it as well. So there's little ribs on this bait, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to count down, right? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ribs. So below the 5th rib is where I'm going to trim that bait. Make sure you detach these claws, guys, or it won't have the right action. So those claws are now detached. I've been rigging it black and blue side up, green pumpkin side down. Just make sure you get it right in the middle. And I want the hook point to come out right in the middle between the eyes of this stroker crawl. As you guys can see, where that hook exited the stroker crawl is right between the eyes on it. A, that's going to make sure that my bait is centered and lined up perfectly down the middle. But B, when I do that, when I put it through at the eyes right there, it fits perfectly. As you guys can see, it fits perfectly on the shank of this hybrid jig hook. And it also makes that bait compact. That's a big, big deal, is making that jig nice and compact. So this is our final little scrum-diddly scrumptious bass snack. And you can see when you trim that skirt, it also gives that skirt more bounce. It makes it pop out more. That's going to give that skirt a little more action at a standstill. So when that jig's sitting dead still, it's going to give that skirt more bounce and more flow when you trim those strands short like we did there. So that right there is the final product of what we have been catching every single bass that you guys are seeing in the last video before this one and this one as well. Couple other tips. If you pay really close attention, and in today's video it might be kind of hard because Mike catches most of the fish, my partner catches most fish, and I don't always have the camera on him when he sets the hook. But if you pay really close attention to the last video and even this one as well, these bigger stumps, it's so important to key in on these bigger stumps and the ones that are the closest to the drop-off. If you're fortunate to have Humminbird 360, it's extremely easy to know which ones are on the drop-off because you can see the creek channel plain as day on Humminbird 360 and see the stumps and the root systems on Humminbird 360 as well. So really easy that way. If you don't have that, concentrate on throwing at those bigger live oak stumps. And here's the key deal, guys. If you get your jig down in there next to that stump and it just doesn't feel like a brush pile, what that means is that those roots are more silted in. It's probably set a little further off the drop-off. It's not just overhanging the drop-off quite as much. It's a little further back on the flat, if that makes sense. So if you pitch in there and you really don't feel a lot of roots and a lot of hardness, doesn't feel like a brush pile, get your jig out of that one and go on to the next one. Because where you're going to get your bites are going to be the big live oak stumps, that have the most exposed roots, that where it's right on the edge of the drop off. Those roots are super exposed, and it gives those fish a lot of cover to hide in and ambush prey and feel comfortable. So that's a huge component, is making sure you're hitting those big live oak stumps. Now, if you want to know which creek channels hold the best drop offs, the most of those big stumps, the creek channels that are just flat out holding the most fish right now on Lake Fork, what you got to do is you got to go to the Fish Life app, LYFE. It's going to be linked in the description. Go to that Fish Life app, download it for free. Go check out the different packages. Subscribe to the Lake Fork Premium package. And right now, the best creek channels on Lake Fork, including the ones we're catching these fish out of, are marked on the Fish Life app.
So you just can't feel the stuff as much on this one?
Yeah.
I think one just spit it out on me. I just pulled it out of one's mouth. Yep, sure did. Had a little soft bite. I kind of eased up on it. It just kind of felt like it may be on the root or something. Then I felt a good tick, and he spit it out. I just had one spit it out on me right there. That was probably old girl right there. That's probably old big. Let me just give that a little old, just a little. Just kind of.
What's she doing?
They don't really snap it. They just kind of molest it a little bit. Yeah, boy. Biggin?
No, don't feel real big.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big.
I mean, your average fish whenever I'm fishing with you.
Yeah.
What we got there?
It's oh, just popped out. Look at that. God.
Look there, folks.
In case y'all wondering, hey Charlie, we still out here jig fishing. Where'd you go, Charlie?
Look at there. Hybrid jig.
Yeah, boy.
6 cents.
That's a pretty fish.
Get you one. Look at that.
Big belly. Pregnant.
Oh,
preggers.
look at the color on her.
She's pretty.
Beautiful fish.
That's a nice one,
Right
Mike.
where she's supposed to be.
Really nice. That's on the guarantee tree.
Guarantee.
See what happened, folks at home? Me and old Money Mike, we dropped old Charlie off the boat ramp, came out here the next morning, we went back to Guarantee Tree, got us a bite.
Guess what I did?
That's right. That's
I
right.
got a pretty mama.
Let me get you a picture.
Yep.
Little bonus coverage, folks at home. Little bonus coverage from day two.
That's how it's done.
My man. Mike, I tell you what, dude, it's just every day solid quality fish on that jig bite, dude. It's like every single day.
Well, I knew I had to get that fish in the boat because you were walking up here to make your cast, and I was like,
as soon as I cast,
you got the one you wanted on it. Like,
so you knew if I made that cast, he was in trouble, huh? Well, guess what? You ain't getting number 2.
That's all right.
I'm gonna snipe you on number 2 real quick.
Right. That ought to be some good stuff right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, golly. Oh, got me in the roots and broke me off. That was a giant. I mean, knocked slack in my line.
I could tell by the way.
I didn't even check it up or nothing.
Yeah,
I just.
It was like, oh boy.
Broke me off in them roots, dude. That's where I caught that big one in the top of the head yesterday, right there. That stump right there.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the same stump. I caught that big one on top of the head. Yeah. Dude, look at dug my line in when I set the hook on it. God bless. That was a big one. I mean, that was her, dude.
There ain't no checkup on that one. Okay, here we go.
No, it came over that root, and my whole line, like I watched you'll see it on the video. My whole line goes. Dong. You guys watching the video? That's the deal right there. 3/4 ounce. 3/4 ounce. It's important. I'm telling y'all. Gets them big bites, doesn't it?
Get them big bites.
Yeah.
There's one.
Nice one.
9.
I'm hung up and Cholo motor, you're on your own hand.
Looky.
No jig fish. You just don't catch any small ones doing that, do you?
No, you don't.
Yeah, get that. Yeah. Look at that jig right at the top of his old snoot there. That's a good thing about that hybrid jig. It sticks them in
Boy, it does.
the right area of their mouth usually.
I mean, it is right where it needs to be.
Perfect.
Oh.
Here you go. Right here, show me.
Right here. Looky here.
There we go. Look what you got, Mike.
Oh, I got one of them old Lake Fork nice ones right here.
Just a yig. Oh, yig fish.
It's a yig fish.
Let's let her go.
All right.
See what she's got. She got all these fish got black spots on them right now.
Yeah.
See, you notice that?
Yeah. Pretty fish.
Every one of them's got a black spot.
Here she goes. Say goodbye, folks.
Well, she was nice and polite.
She was.
Them ones yesterday was kind of
They were
rude.
mean.
They're kind of rude to us.
Yeah, they were mad at you because you got them out of the water so fast.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't play them.
Boat flip. I can't run my trail in there.
Yeah.
That's a long way back. Oh, golly. Every time I'm hung up. I mean, he knocked.
Yeah, I saw your line.
They didn't see him drifting. My line's around that tree, and I don't have him. I mean, I don't have him. He's not there at all. And he's on that big old stump. Look how big that stump is he was sitting on. I mean, knock the fire out of it, dude. God dang, dude, I can't win for losing today, Mike. Yeah, when they hit it that hard, you always hook me like they've got it.
But I keep going back to that one that you caught, that, you know, in the gill. Like, are they spitting it that quick on you?
I mean, yeah, that's the only thing that could have happened there is it just bite and spit.
Just bit it and then just popped it right
Just
back
popped at it, never really had it, but because I never really felt the fish. Oh, there's a bite.
Well, yeah, when your line jumps like that.
See that fish? That was him spitting it out too. Maybe they're catching it when I'm feeling the hit. It's them spitting it out. I mean, I just got another bite. I'm getting mad. Didn't want to deal with it.
Sorry, I didn't have time to warn you.
No, at least one of us can hook one. That's another
good one right
good
there,
one. Another good one.
Oh, that's another good one.
I'm coming. Bring him here. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, my Lord.
Fat.
What we got there?
Fat.
What we got
Fat.
there? Look at there. Look at there, folks.
She's as tall as she is long.
Look at her. She's pretty.
Oh, preggers.
Hey, look where that jig is, guys. Don't think they don't eat it here.
Mike, you getting fired up, ain't you? I can tell the inflection in your voice is changing, my
I'm
man.
trying to make you some good stuff.
Yo, you're doing it.
I mean,
And thank God for you today. We wouldn't have shit. GoPro.
GoPro?
GoPro. What you got?
What we
Mike,
got here?
Mike, now we actually weighed this one. We haven't been weighing any of these fish. Show that one to us real quick, Mike.
I don't mind.
So you guys have
showing
seen all these fish that we've caught yesterday and today. That's a 6-pounder, 5 pounds, 15 ounces. We just weighed it. So what were we catching yesterday?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
maybe that one over there this morning. Those seemed
Yeah.
like they were kind of bigger.
Now, all these other fish have been nice to me when I let them go.
Mine always try to kick me in the face.
Here we go.
Yours are so polite.
Well, you know.
Your fish are so polite. You must have softer hands than me.
I do.
I got these old callous fishing hands.
Yeah, I got these little girl hands. It just, they, you know.
Ain't nothing little about your hands, man.
Good job, buddy.
No, hell, you.
It was my guide.
Good job, you.
What's
You.
my guide always say? I can put you on the fish, but you got to do the rest yourself.
That's it. I can't catch them for you. I don't need to catch them for you today.
Well,
You own it, hand. You own it. That one bit it, swimming out. He bit it.
attaboy.
Finally, little bitty sucker.
You caught one of my fish.
We're just trading today.
Yeah.
We're just trading today. Look, guys. I actually caught a fish. It's not a terrible fish. I mean,
No.
by today's standard, just kind of small, but normally you'd be like, hey, that's a nice one.
Right, that's a
nice one.
fish. That is a really nice fish.
Like a 3-pound, 3.5 pounder. What that does do, Mike, that puts us, I think that puts us over 20 on 4 fish. And we've only landed 4 fish. We've got, since we weighed yours was a 6-pounder. The first one you caught, I think, was a little bit bigger. So we'll go 6.5 on that first one you caught. So 6 and 6.5 is 12.5. Then we have 4.5 at least on the other one.
Yeah.
Probably a 5. But anyway, we'll call it 4.5. That's what we originally called it.
Be honest with it. And
So that's 17, and they just caught like a 3.5. So that's 20. Yeah, it's right at 20 pounds on 4 fish.
4 fish.
4 fish for 20 pounds ain't bad.
No.
And there's also been 4 B-law mess ups.
There's been a potential that bag could.
Oh yeah, 30-pound bag. If we some of them bigger bites, yeah.
There she is.
Get him. Saw that.
Oh yeah.
Big one.
Keep working. Like
I gotta get my jig out of these roots.
Keep working it. Come on, baby. Come on.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one.
Come on.
It's a pretty big one.
What we got there, Billy?
It's a nice one. That's the best of the day, I think.
Oh my Lanta.
Yeah, that's probably a 7.
Look where I caught it at.
Right in the nose.
Look at that.
It's right in the daggum nose.
Mmm.
Right where you want them. 6-inch hybrid jig, folks. Been telling y'all, that little dude right there, that is the best flipping jig that I've ever used in my life.
I'm gonna have to agree.
And it's all about the head design, man. It just hits that. It combines the combination of being weedless and hooking the fish better than anything I've ever used. If you want them, Mike, if you want a 6-inch hybrid jig, we're gonna get you on the other side, sunshine. Big Mike, if you want a 6-inch hybrid jig, you know what to do?
I think I do, but what are you supposed to do?
You got to go to 6centsfishing.com.
Yeah.
Order all you want, along with anything else. Then you use the code Your Lake Fork Guide and get a 10% discount on all orders.
Okay.
And then come catch launches. Do that. Subscribe to the Fish Life app, Lake Fork Premium Package, and you literally, you can throw. It tells you to throw that jig on this creek channel right here. So
yes,
there it is. There you
Look
go.
at that.
Big Mike, give me a fish bump.
Oh.
Oh, fish bump right there.
Look at that.
Let that old big girl go, son.
Okay.
It's a pretty fish. It's about a 7-pounder, folks. 7 yonder.
Be nice to me, baby.
Jump, jump,
Be nice.
jump, jump. Here she goes.
nice.
Jump,
Be nice.
jump. Look how cold they are. Come on.
nice.
Yeah. Dude, our reaction. It's like we're kids, bro.
It is.
It's like we're freaking kids.
God.
It's awesome.
Oh, there he is.
Come on. Come on. Oh, that's a giant. Look even how he ate that jig, though. Golly, that little scamp. Sun come out, even the male bass start eating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at that. Ate that jig, boy. All the way down his cheekbone. And that sweet meat.
And that sweet goodness.
Let's see it. Show him here. Now you gotta like turn, like
You want me to turn it?
you gotta put him in front of you. Big as you are,
Dadgum.
that fish ain't gonna exist if you don't put him out in front of you. Nice. Good
There
job,
you go.
Mikey.
Don't forget, guys, you got to give it a little ear scratch.
They'll come back and see you when they get bigger when you do that right there.
That's right.
That's a good one to end the day on, Mike. We gotta go.
I like the way that sounds.
They're starting to bite, so we gotta go home. I can't spoil you too much,
I
buddy.
understand. I understand. Keep me wanting more.
Y'all talked about me front ending you in the last video, so I'll let you front end me all day.
So everybody can see how big of a difference it makes. I'm just playing.
Well, that's the end of today's episode, guys. Thank you so very much for taking the time to watch, man. We had a 27-pound bag, 28-pound bag, something like that. Like, we didn't swing a whole lot of fish in the boat, but if you go home with 27, 28 pounds in your boat and you go home disappointed, I'm not the guy to fish with, because I'm never going to be disappointed in that. Just, it's been so consistent, even on the other guide trips that we're not filming. The big fish are coming in the boat every single day right now at Lake Fork. It's fishing very, very well. Not a lot of bites, and I think that has a lot to do with the type of technique and the type of bite that we're pursuing on this jig bite. We're not going to get as many bites doing that at times. But the quality of fish that Lake Fork is producing every single day is really second to just about nowhere else. I mean, it kicks out big fish every day for us right now. I had a customer right after we filmed this video the next day on the water. He was like, man, I just want to catch my personal best. You know, like, hey, no pressure, Mr. Guide. You just got to put me on my biggest fish ever, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's how it feels when somebody says that when you're a fishing guide. And then I asked him, well, what's your personal best? He said, man, it's about 5 pounds. And I didn't say this out loud, but in my head, I was like, yeah, that's going to happen. Like, we're going to do that. Like, that's going to happen. Well, his first bite of the morning was a 7-pounder. And that's just how it's going down. I can't express to you guys how consistently good the quality of fish are that are coming out of Lake Fork for me right now. So I'd encourage all of you to get out to Lake Fork. Going out there, visit the businesses out there, spend some money. They need the support with the lake being low this winter. Things have been slow at times, but get on out there. Watch the MLF guys as they come up, and be sure to watch this channel next week, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a really in-depth breakdown and preview of that MLF tournament that's coming up later on this month. We're going to break down different techniques that will begin to play as that tournament comes to town. We're going to talk about the jig thing in depth. We're going to teach you guys next week all the details of the jig bite that we've been pursuing. So we got some stuff coming for you guys instructional wise. I know this week we didn't have a lot of instruction. Next week we'll have the in-depth instruction, and we're going to start talking about those tournaments that are coming up on Lake Fork, which there's obviously some big ones with MLF coming now, Bass coming later in May. You can bet your bottom dollar your Lake Fork guide, #1 place for all news and information for Lake Fork bass fishing for the last 5 years. You know we're going to cover those things super in depth like we always do, man. Cannot thank you guys enough for allowing me to live this crazy life that I lead, where I just go fishing every day. It's unbelievably awesome. It's a dream come true, and the reason it came true is because of each and every one of you. So thank you guys very much for all the continued support, and we'll see you next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.